Dave here. How are you? Today is the 25th of February 2018, Eastern Daylight Saving Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, they call it. It is pouring down rain here at the moment, and I'm sorry if you hear the rain bucketing down. It's unlucky. I can't do anything about that one. Let me see what we've got in the show for you, everyone, today. What a difference it makes having the video of me here. Not that I'm, selling tickets. You know what I mean? Okay, we checked the stream's running well, and we've actually got me on the show here, which is good. The quick clean cut drop saw video, which I released yesterday. I actually released it even earlier. I released it at 6 o'clock yesterday morning because I had to duck off to Carbotech to do the saw stop demonstration, and that was fun. Had a few people turn up, not as many as I thought would, but anyway, I did manage to get Steve to do the activation. And you know what? How about we jump in with that straight away, and I'll see if I've got Steve there. I do. Here we go. Watch this. Okay, Steve, when you're ready. Now you'll see that the riving knife is still up. Steve's still with us.
I'm still with you.
The riving knife is still up, but the blade have dropped to the bottom. Now down here we'll see a red, a solid red, which means there's been a brake activation. So the cartridge needs replacing. Okay, so now Steve, if you can push the paddle off and also turn the other switch down. That's it. Okay. Now I also try and disengage that, wind this all the way counterclockwise, and then what's happening, you can see the riving knife is going down, and it will re-engage with the trunnion. You'll hear it. Got it. Okay, come back up again, Steve, and that's captured the brake and the blade all in one. Just bringing it up to the top. And now if we open down here, you'll see the blade is buried in the brake. And we'll get that out in a second. We can have a look. So there you go. Do you find that kind of stuff interesting? Do you ever get sick of watching it happen? I don't. I get amazed every time that happens. I always look at the sausage and think, surely the sausage is going to cop it this time. But it never does. Every now and then it'll get a little scratch, but that one, nothing on it at all. All right, now what are we doing? Oh, first thing I want to say is, if you have time today and if you're in Sydney, remember that the Traditional Tool Group is having their annual meeting, which means they'll have a whole heap of old hand planes and all of that kind of gear for sale at Thornley at the Brick Pit. So rainy day, jump in the car, zap up the street to Thornley, just north of Sydney, and have a look. You might find something that's really good, but wait until my show finishes. Okay. Thanks everyone for coming in, and it looks like we've got a fair few people here. As normal, I don't watch the stream. What I do is I watch on my program here, but I don't know what's happening on YouTube. So if you guys can let me know if there's any thumbs up or if there's any, how many people are watching, just periodically during the show, that'd be fantastic. Now, as I say, I've got a heap to do today, so I'm going to try and punch through it as quickly as I can. The first 10 minutes, I'll be doing some viewers things and have a quick look at the chat, and also I'm going to try and mix it up, so I'll be jumping in between this live demonstrations and back here again. Where are we? Where are we? Saw stop. Yes, Steve did go well. Poor Steve. He was panicking all the way up to the time where he actually pushed that sausage into the path of that blade. And he was trying to look extremely professional. I think he did a really good job. Next time, if you're in the store, go up and give him a pat on the back. Say, well done, Steve. Well done. I'm going to do some edge melamine because Julian from the UK has asked for a demo. So I thought, why not? I'm making a whole heap of drawers for this unit at the moment, and I've got to the stage where I've finished all the pocket holding. I need to do all the edge strips, so I'll do a couple of pieces on the show as we're going. Dave M, I like watching it, but the poor wieners we had wieners last night for dinner. Do you ruin those nice blades every time? No, the blades are fine. See, this is one of the myths about saw stop. The brake, of course, is stuffed. You throw that away. You can dislodge the brake from the blade, and you might find that there's a carbide tooth dislodged, and just put a new tooth on it. It's up to you whether you want to keep the thing or not, or whether you want to go and buy a new blade. But even so, anywhere between $60 to $130 odd for a new blade, whatever the cartridge costs, you know, $99. And if it's a genuine save, like if you haven't been mucking around with it and it's a genuine finger save, Carbotech throw in a free cartridge. But you've still got these. This is the thing everyone misses. You've still got these things. Anyway, and I say to everyone, you know, run your fingers through your hair, well, those that have hair, and try and get change out of your pocket. Now, do it with a fist without fingers on it. Almost impossible. You know, I know it costs, and I know they have so-called misfires, but I don't think they do. But I go through that. I show you how to use a metal detector. I show you how to use a moisture meter on timber, how to be careful with things like an Incra miter gauge that might have metal very close to the blade. There's always, it's easy. Come and see me, I'll show you how to do it properly. Anyway, that's enough about talking about saw stop. Next thing, so we'll do nail gun safety as well. And I will do it wearing these things. Now you might say, yeah, good on you, Dave. Earmuffs, how are they going to stop the nails? You watch this. These are eye muffs. And how good are they? These things are brilliant. I got in touch with George from Eye Muffs. And I said, George, someone's told me about these products. Can you flick me one out? And he said, yeah, I'll flick you a couple out. So I'm going to give one of these pairs away. Not today. I'm going to work it all out during the week. And so next week we'll set up the competition. Come back and watch that one. See, these are them here. Sky blue. You'll love these. And I'll even throw in a free spare lens. How's that grab you? Now, if you can't wait till then, and you want some in the meantime, I've put some links in the description box. So have a quick look down below there. You will see what it means. Okay, so Steve lost half a finger some years ago. Screws fall out of my fist regularly. Wow, that's no good. Next thing. I'm going to get straight into this. I've got a thing from Greg White this week, and he's sharing his timber storage rack. And it says, timber storage rack is on track. And Stuart Cottrell has a very nice art desk that he sent in for me. So along those lines, I'll show those during between demonstrations. Photos from where you're watching or projects you are building in your shop. So also we have a photo from one of the viewers where he's watching me at a place called Robertson. Also, animals in your shop, send the pics in to me, davestantonfans@gmail.com. I'm going to switch over to the other camera here, if I can find it. There it is. And we shall do this. All right, I'll slide around here. I'll bring my drink with me. Now, I have the camera set up these days, so you won't see me during the demonstration, which a lot of people will probably be pretty happy about. Now, see here, I have a couple of blades and knives sitting on the table here. All right, now, love the eye muffs. Aren't they brilliant? All right, now I have a Dmt Diamond Set, which is an extra fine, fine, coarse, and extra coarse that Matt Warner sent in to me. That was very, very generous of Matt. Thank you very much. I'm using those a heap. I have also got just a standard little one that I bought from Aldi. I think it was 10 bucks. I've also got this one here, which is a knife sharpening jig. And I brought this in because I've seen it hanging on the wall in the shop. And I thought, you know what? I don't think anyone knows how to use it. How about I do a demo and everyone will be with a heads up on that. And I'm also going to show you this tiny little thing here. This is the card for it. And this is the device. And I have seen these on the wall for years and years and years and discounted them thinking they were rubbish. I have changed my mind big time. Someone taught me how to use it. And it makes all the difference. If you know how to use something, you might turn around and say, I'll tell you what a good idea. So let's start off with the knife sharpening jig. So this one here, I'll just go through it basically to start with. There's a clamp here you can tighten up on the blade. Okay, you tighten that. I'll try and keep it over that white area at the back there. There we go, that's easier. You tighten it up on the blade. So let's do that to start. I'll open it up and you can adjust just here. There's a screw there so you can open it up before you start activating the blade if you need to. And I'll tell you what, I don't think I'll need to. I'll just keep opening that up on this one. Oh, spoke too soon. I will open this one up a little, and I will use a screwdriver. Give me a second. Just grab my screwdriver. And because I didn't have my screwdriver there, I used my thumbnail. That's a little bit naughty, isn't it? Okay, so undoing, and that opens up like that. Then I can put that back in, and then slowly tighten it back up again using the standard equipment thumbnail. I'll slide it down to about the center. Going to tighten the clamp up. Can you see what I'm doing there? Just tightening this clamp here. It's a bit hard black on black, isn't it? Okay, tighten it up. There we go. All right, that's looking pretty good. Now you'll notice at the back here there are a couple of holes, and I can swing them around to be wherever I need to. Now they are going to guide this. Okay, so the stone is actually going to go in here. Now you start off with the coarse, and I think there's a little cam here as well, so you can open that cam up, drop it into position. Come on, you can do it. And then you twist it so it locks in position like so. Now you should do this with water. This is a coarse stone. And then the easy thing is you slide it into that guide, and it gives you the right angle. And then you go to the other side, do the same thing. So I can adjust with these little diamond stones. I can adjust the angle. Now, if I twist this and push it in, you'll see me going in slightly. I'm trying to keep my hand away from the blade there. There's little indents here. I don't know if you can see those indents just here. So I'll push it in, and you can see it's slid in. I turn it to lock it, and then I can turn this one and slide it in to lock it. And they're all numbered. There we go, locked there. See those? Now that one's offset, so we'll take it back just a little. There, okay, so that's going to be pretty good. Now, I pop this back in, and that is going to give me a shallower angle on the blade. Okay, and it tells you the degrees, and it tells you, I'll grab the little instruction book for it when I find it. Here it is. I'm not going to go full on with that because that'll take forever. Lowest angle, highest angle, and it says here, lowest angle is, and it tells you the different blade width. So if that's around about 1.5 inches. So I would go, it's telling me 1/2 inch, inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and 4 inch. So I would go halfway between. So 1 inch for the lowest angle is 16 degrees. Now remember that's 16 degrees per side. So if I was, it says for razors, acto blades, craft knives, and number 6 is fillet and paring, trimming and tomato knives. So with a filleting knife, you'd only do one side. You wouldn't do the other side because it's flat. You just make sure it's flat anyway. Now it also does, as I said, I'm not going to do any more on that one. I'll take it off. It also does serrated knives. How cool is that? So I'll put it on there. Tighten it up. That's got him. Now how it does serrated knives is it's got a conical one as well. See, it's a cone. And you screw it on because it comes flat packed in a box. So that's a conical diamond file. And quite easily pop it in there like so. And then you can do each, as you're going along, it'll drop down in between the rounds. Hold on, let me see if I can do it a little bit easier. Oh, thank you very much for that. I've just been given $20. Thank you very much. Okay, so there you go. How cool is that? So it will do both sides, as I said before, when I get it out of the silly thing. There we go. I'll undo that one more. There. So in there, and away we go. And I can file away. Now, I don't know if that's the exact angle or not. I do not know. But have you ever seen anything like this? I had never seen them. You know, I've seen them sitting on the shelf for years and thinking, what are they? And life was just too busy. I never really bothered looking. It folds up, so you undo that. This comes out again, or so they tell me. And then this, whoop, this rotates around like so, out of the way. You pop it in its box. I think that goes somewhere there. This one there. And the conical file there. All 3 stones drop into a little spot here. And then we've got the jig itself. The jig is up. Take it off there. And it lives in there. What do you think? As I say, I love bringing information of new stuff that as I say, I've seen it, and I've seen it, I've seen it. And I thought, how the hell does that work? So done. That's that one. All right. I thought you didn't need to sharpen serrated knives. Well, you can. You can. Hold on. JPro chose the dollar down, but comment window. Thumbs up for Dave, folks. Thank you very much, Carl. Carl sent me a book during the week, and I was really taken aback. A beautiful thing that he wrote in the front of it. It was his uncle's book. I might show you next week. I haven't got it here in the shed at the moment because as I've been running around trying to get things done. Yes, okay, serrated knives. Sometimes serrated knives you can run across your hand. Not a thing advisable to do, but I find sometimes I also get a sharper cut, a better cut, if it's also sharp as well. The bread knife, there is no sharpness on that. That side, I wouldn't cut myself. It's absolutely magic, but it's designed to pull out a chunk of bread as well. Okay, so that's that as far as that one's concerned. I'll move this out of the way because I don't want to get that damaged. That's one of my drawer sections. Now, this one. This is the one I really wanted to talk about. This little guy here. Are the knife sharpeners expensive? That DMT one that I was just showing, I'll show you the front of it so you can see which one it is. It's called a Diamond Sharpening Kit. They're not cheap. In Australia, they retail around 180 odd, I think, and it shows you everything that's inside there as well. But it all depends on what you want to do. If you're a chef and you need things sharpened to such and such a degree, and you don't have the ability yet to hold things to a correct angle, that would be very, very good. I'm not going to try that one. Okay, so then what you can do is if you don't want to spend the money, I'll jump in. I'll keep with the knives for the second. I'll use Matt's little diamond waterstone here, and I'll go to the coarse side. So it's got an extra coarse, fine, and super fine. And I'll give it a bit of water. I just put a couple of drops on. Now, this little guy here slides onto the back of your knife blade. And it's got a couple of little Teflon or plastic supports there. And this is a jack of all trades. So you can see my knife. How often do you have the end snapped off because you've used it to try and pry something out? I think this was used to get, so there was some frozen jelly or something in the freezer once, and we tried to get it out and it didn't end well. Now this one, you slide it on, and I take it to about the middle. Okay, so what you can do then, what do we got there? Nat, how are you? I am very well, thank you. Okay, now with this one, be careful when you come near the edge that you don't hit this and don't hit there as well. So if you're straight on a table, it's best to use a block mount to lift it up. If I was to try and do it straight on that, sitting down there, it's not going to work because the handle's going to keep it up above where it should be. So always try and raise it up. I could use my oil stone as well if I wanted to. Just use that guy. But seeing as being used with food, possibly not. Okay, So again, this is a generic thickness, and you just slide it around and it's going to move where you want. And then you flip her over and do the other side. Don't try and put this right down the end there, you'll change the angle. Try and keep it in the center to do all in one hit, and put the force down on the blade itself at the part where you're sharpening. Move it around the stone as much as you can. That's a big difference already. So there you go. There is knife sharpening. How cool is that? These are things that, you know, as I say, one of the great things about working in this store every now and then is I get to play with toys and have a look and see what's happening. All right. What's the next thing? Next thing. This guy. Now, why am I going on about this thing? This does chisels and plane blades. Now, I think I brought one of my large plane blades. Up the top, it's that way round, is how you hold a plane blade in it. There's a screwdriver point there, so you can really give it to it if you want. But how good is that? Straight away, it's held. It can't rock. It's going to be held at 90 degrees. It has a small wheel on the bottom. So it's a guide wheel only. So it's going to rely on you putting pressure equally. The other thing is that you'll notice on the side, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to put it up really close and see if you can read what it says there. No, it's not going to do it. I want you to read it, so I'm going to come around the other side and hold it right up against the camera until you see it. See that? Now, it's telling me for a chisel, the projection is 30 millimeters is 30 degrees. Is that 40 millimeters is 25. And then for a plain iron down below, 38 is 30 degrees. And 50 millimeters is 25 degrees. Now, they are the main angles that you will ever want. So, what we do is we measure the distance from here, from the face of it, out to the tip. And it just so happens I have a ruler here. That's one thing at least I was ready with. So on plane it says plane is 50 millimeters for 25 degrees. Now I'm going to measure the distance 50 millimeters. So I make sure that it's undone, otherwise I'll never move it. I could have just marked 50 millimeters on the back of the plane blade, but let's see. That's it. There you go. Now, how easy was that? Now, on a little guy like this, I would also spin her around and work the other end. And also, what I will do, as a matter of fact, not what I would do, is I'll continue cleaning up the back of this. Because last time I did a sharpening demonstration, Graham Ormisher correctly said to me, Dave, you must, that is fantastic, you must sharpen the back of these before you do anything else. So I've been mucking around with that a little bit during the week. And you can see the back of that, how mine, see up in this corner here, it's a different kind of a polish. Down the bottom here, you can see it's a very coarse polish, and up the top it's not. This hasn't been touched. So I've been running it on the coarse side of this diamond stone, and I'm going to do it again. Oh, here's another thing about diamond stones. You'll feel the difference between coarse and extra coarse, and then down to fine, but you will not feel the difference to your skin, the difference between fine, and extra fine. It's not going to happen. But they do put on the back of the stones a little bit of, or on the side of these ones, a little bit of writing. And one of the other things that I'm going to let you know is right now why I do this Stanton bench with wax. So I can throw things on, it's not going to worry it. It really isn't going to worry it. Okay, so I've got the extra coarse side up at the moment. And I'll quickly show you when I've said fine, extra fine. Can you read that or not? It does say it along here. Fine, extra fine. Okay, so I'm going to keep on putting equal weight whilst I'm on extra coarse. There's another one, I think, which is extra coarse. Is this kind of stuff riveting viewing for you, or do you think it's a bit boring? I love this kind of stuff. It's slowly getting out there. Now, I'm not going to be able to get all the way out there today. The main thing is to keep equal weight. That's starting to get there. Look at that already. See how quickly the diamond stones affect things? I'm nearly out at that point. Now, there's going to be all sorts of things you can use to do this flattening. This one's going great, and I'm going to keep going. But don't try and use anything too fine, because it's just not going to work. You need a really coarse stone at this stage to be able to bring it down hard. Nearly there. I'm going to turn it around. As I keep on saying, equal wear is very important. Nearly there. Give it a quick clean. Not having a sharpening station yet, I have to keep doing this. So it's washing off all the ferrous material that's coming off the blade. Oh, so close. And gives it a bit of slip again. And also stops you separating the diamonds from the base plate. Because whilst diamonds are hard, the compound holding the diamonds onto the base plate is not as tough. So you've got to be careful with that. Nearly there. That side's perfect. Let's put it back in the jig. Now, what do I say? 50 millimeters. Now, there's a round section at the front, and that's the side I'm going from, because it shows it on the picture. Also, the screw is on the right-hand side. Oh, Louis, thank you so much. Okay, so there you go. You tighten this up on the right-hand side. I'll put that down. If you're right-handed, and then, well, even if you're left-handed, keep the knob on the right-hand side of you, and that's where it's set to run off. And it's slightly rounded at the front, as I was saying. And I'll go back to 50 millimeters. These things are super cheap to buy. I think they're around $18 in Australia. And I'm going to get to the point in a second where, oh, don't let it go. There's a trap for beginners, isn't there? I'm going to show you in a second why I like this so much. Now, I really should have a screwdriver here with me to do this. I don't have one here. I'm going to go very slowly. Remember, using all the stone. And the other end. But thank you again, Matt, for sending this over. This is so generous. It was a shock. He said, Dave, how can I get something to you? And I said, oh, well, here's an address if you really have to. And next thing you know, this arrived. Now, that's only coarse. How brilliant is that? All right, I'm going to show you the next part, the chisels. 1/4-inch chisel. Now, everyone, how many people have got a 1/4-inch chisel and try and use something to sharpen this, and it's rocking around all over the place? First thing I'll do is I'll give it a quick touch on the back. All over it. Oh, that's quick. Beautiful. All right. This part here, down the bottom, is another jig for it. So we bring it in heaps. And you think, oh, there's no way you're going to grab it, Dave. Well, there's another set of jaws down the bottom here for the chisel. You watch. Open it up. In she goes. Now, What length did it say? Come on, people. I think that's around let's go 40. Actually, we'll go less than 40. So you can measure the distance. I'll go there. For demonstration purposes, it'll be fine. Okay. And it's probably going to work better with a bevel chisel. Because at the moment, this is a firmer. And what's the difference between a firmer and a bevel chisel, you will be asking? Actually, it's going to be a whole lot better with a... Oh no, drop it in, down there. All the way to the bottom I'm going with that one. And then you can adjust it back a little. So it's going to hold it square for me. Have a look at that. I'm very impressed. I'll give the back a quick touch. I'll strop it off a little bit. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Hand in the way, and there's the chisel right against my hand. So there's the edge, and there's the back. Now that is on extra coarse, and I could possibly do that a whole lot better. But how nice is that? What a great little jig. If I had a large blade screwdriver, that would have been fine. All right, I think that is it for sharpening for the moment. I could have gone through using my oil stone as well, but you've seen me do that before. And fair comment regarding serrated knives, possibly should be... I'll clean this off because I'm just like that, you know what I'm like. Serrated knives should be possibly best not to sharpen them. I think the main reason is so you don't have someone say, hey, look what this does. You know, these things cut through a ripe tomato, but won't cut you. Well, they will if you sharpen them. So it's your call. I have no control over what's happening there with you. And this little set as well, what happens is, I need to make myself a sharpening station. What happens is, you put one stone in, you put the anti-slip section there, and then you put the other stone on top. And as I say, on the side here, it does have it written, coarse and extra coarse, with a little arrow up or down. Now, I'm sorry I haven't had any involvement with the chat today. I'm trying to move through things as quick as I can. Now, some people will probably say, thank heavens, Dave. You waste so much time talking to everyone. I'm not really here to listen to people talking on the chat. They can talk to each other. Some people do like to have the involvement, though, so I do try and involve myself a little bit with the chat here and there. Right, I'll switch back to the other camera. David sold me the Veritas honing guide some time ago. Oh, it's a lovely honing guide. I love the Veritas one. So, Hilton Bond, show the ruler trick on the stone, Dave. Saves you leveling the whole back of the whole back of the blade. No, I'm not going to show the ruler trick because I don't know particularly exactly that one that you're talking about, Hilton. Where are we? Who makes that guide, Dave? There are tons of them on the net with not very favorable reviews. That little one is probably just a cheap little one from China. I'll show you its label again. I'll show you the label of the knife jig. That's that little one there. So that's this guy. And the other one, let me see if I can find the label for it. Can't see it anywhere there. Not over here. I'm searching around all of my guns. Can't see it there. I'll find it further down the track. But it's a great little jig, and the jigs are only as good if the base unit of the jig. Let me switch this camera back here. If the jigs are well made and hold and do the thing, The rest is up to you. You're the one that's got to actually run with it and make it work. So you hear the saying, a bad tradesman always blames his tools. Well, obviously, yeah, there's some crap tools out there, but there's also a lot of crap tradesmen. Okay, now, time to have a quick look at a video here from some pictures from Stuart Cottrell. And here we go. I need to read as well. These are, Stuart's made a really, really, really nice art desk. You will be impressed with this. And he's only started off, so here we go. Stuart, Dave, can't be there for Saturday evening, something called Wife's Surprise Weekend Trip for her birthday. Well, happy birthday. But here's a desk I've made from walnut and oak with an old tin panels in the sides. In the process, it morphed into an art drawer cabinet. A little progress with each project, if only I had the patience to make plans before starting. All the best and have a great show from Stuart. How nice is that? How nice, how nice, how nice. Don't you reckon that looks beautiful? He's made the drawers so that they slide in, so the base is plywood and comes all the way into runners. See those down the bottom there on the left? Absolutely beautiful. What a nice finish. So this guy has only just recently started doing stuff. How clever is he? I'm super impressed. Thank you very much for that, Stuart. That's brilliant. Okay, so what do we do next? We might even have a look at another thing here. I've got sliding down here. Govinda. So Govinda has sent in some photos. He's actually popped these on the Dave Stanton live stream chat session on Facebook. You can apply to get in there if you want to. Govinda, there he is, just jumped into the chat, and he has made these. Now, he's done a lot of double mortise and tenon joints. How cool is that? These stools are one of his first projects he's ever made. These guys put me to shame. But in my defense, I'm a cottage builder, not really a joiner. I just muck around and have some fun in the shed. But I'm trying to hone my skills, but I'd love to get up to the stage that Govinda is, and also to Stuart. They are so dedicated, and they tell me they enjoy it so much. It's just it's a break from what they normally do during the day, and they manage to get in there and have a great time. Okay, so Jay Power, can't type on a tablet. Sorry, my guide is made in Taiwan, but says Robert Larson on it. I love it. Okay, there you go. Now, the next person I'm going to do, all right, John has been traveling around on his way back from his mum's birthday. If you remember, it was his mum's birthday last weekend. And they stopped in at Robertson at some friend's place, and he thought he'd catch up on the show on the way home, which is excellent. Oh, and it's my mother-in-law's birthday today. She is 87, so happy birthday, Gloria. I will drop in and say hello later on during the day. And as a birthday present, I think I will wash the inside of your car's windscreen and all the windows. Of course, it's a bit hard. Do you have that thing with windows in cars where right down near the dashboard, it's a bitch to try and get there and clean it. You're exercising so many muscles that never get used ordinarily. So, that'll be my present for her. So hopefully that'll make it easy for her to drive around. 87 and still driving. How good is that? Do you know anyone who is older than that and still driving? I reckon that's a champion effort. Okay, there you go. So Lee Valley also do those kind of things. Right, okay, so we're getting all sorts of comment there as well. Tormac's expensive but worth it. Hilton Bond, if you want a perfect edge, Louis, you need to go to 16,000. Look, 16,000 is really polishing. If you wanted a chef's knife, yes, I'd go to 16,000. Chisels, I think you'd be fine at 4,000. Even 1,200 would probably be enough for most people. It all depends on your skill level as to whether you want to take it further. I know Graham Ormish also mentioned that when he was doing dovetails by hand, you needed to have those chisels as sharp can be, so they could slice anything. Okay. Great show as always from Idaho. Thank you for that, Fred. And Louis having a heart attack in the corner there about something. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I will throw Greg Wyatt's video on. I think I've got that. Greg, where are you? Come on. There it is. Found it. Here we go. I'll read this one as well. So Greg, are you ready? There's a lot of talk in this one. My workshop is just over 20 square meters and I'm covering the floor with Aldi foam mats because everything needs to be mobile. I'm going to have a problem with casters on mats. The heaviest thing is my timber storage rack, and here is how I solve the problem. Here we go. The rack rolls on fixed nylon casters. There it is. Thus it can only roll backwards and forwards. I made a pair of tracks out of 42 by 19, so close enough to 2x1 pine, 1200 long, 4 feet, and mounted them to the concrete floor in the rack's park position with light duty masonry anchors at centers to match the casters. I laid the mats around the tracks, they're easy to cut, and increased the height of the fixed track by screwing some 40 by 12 on top of the 42 by 19. I made a movable track out of 42 by 19 pine. Pocket screws keep the cross braces in place and everything nice and square. I rebaited the end, and here's Greg doing it with his sexy legs out there, of the fixed rails for the mobile track to check into. Despite its weight, the rack rolls out with little effort, as you can see there. The top and track moving, I stand on it. The only thing I need to do is glue a block on the end of the track so I don't run the rack off the end. I did it once. It's not easy to get it back on. The other mobile carts I make will use a similar system. How good is that? Greg, you're brilliant. That is fantastic. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. What do you reckon, guys? Throw up a comment there for Greg and say, you know, it's thinking outside the square. I would never have thought about rolling a machine over my mats here that I've got on my floor, because I know they just go squish. But dispersing the weight over a track like that, very, very good. What do we got? My Graham stopped driving at, I don't know what that is. Dusty Moore and Tormek has been in the box so long that they have brought out the next model. Well, Stephen, what you need to do is you go and buy the next model and give me your old one, and I'll give it a nice home here. All right, let me see what's the next thing we've got here as well. I think that is everything from viewers. How about we get into the next one, which will be the nail guns. Now again, you won't be seeing me while I do this, so I'll switch the cameras over here, have a quick drink. I think I've got a drink over there. All right, starting again. I'll edit that part out. This is my framing gun that I use at the moment all the time. This is a gas gun. It has a battery that slides into here, and that's for the ignition of the gas, for the explosion to fire it. Again, these nails are the nails that I use in it. Good on you, Greg. That's using the Albine. No camera. Aha. Yeah, good on you. I'll take all those comments. I deserve it. All right. It's Dave and nail gun invisible. Can you see me now, guys? Surely you can see me. All right. These nails are 3-inch and they are a D nail. The tip has got plastic coating on it. That's that red stuff. And behind it is the magazine bonding agent, which is glue and also cardboard, kind of a cardboardy paper. You don't leave these out in the weather, they'll fall apart. Okay, now they're a D nail, as I say up the top here. It's a D shape on the head so that one nail can slide down past the next one without the head bumping into the other one. No, you're not. You're back again, aren't you? Come on, come on. Surely you can see me. Guide labeled as Alex, I'm 20 years old. Which are better, gas cordless or air powered? All right. This one is fine for framing for 3-inch nails. It will take 90s, which is the 3.5, but it's starting to ask a big question. So you slide the cartridge in, release that and let it go. And it is ready for action when I put in a battery into it. So I'll slide the battery on now. I'll put my earmuffs on, my eye muffs. I'm over grabbing the battery. That's the battery. It slides into the cartridge there. Done. It's ready to go. So I've got a piece of timber here. Now the thing is, when I'm nailing, do not try and nail through an area that's got a knot in it. Don't go near the edge, because this thing will want to come out at great velocity and try and find the least path of resistance. All right. Sometimes you can't do that, but at the moment, let's see how it goes. Now I'm going to give it a shot. You can see me. Yeah, all good. We can see your paddle. Excellent. You ready? Gas, probably you get 2 canisters of gas with a box of 3,000 nails. So, you know, 1.5. I'm hoping it's going to work. Let's see. Now, it had a little bit of resistance, a bit of soft resistance, because the Stanton bench is designed to be cushioned. So that's why that nail didn't go all the way in. But that's a 3-inch nail that I've gone pretty much. What I'll do is I'll put it right over one of the feet and see how that goes. Should get a better result. Nope, it's not wanting to go all the way in. Now that's cypress pine I'm going into, and this is radiata pine. If I go at a bit of an angle, which you can do, I might be able to sneak it in. That's gone in better. See, that's the softer timber, and it's buried it all the way. This is framing timber. This is the timber I used to build houses out of all the time, because it's not affected by white ants. But ordinarily, if I had a head up like that, I'd just go around and give it a tap with a hammer. All right, so that's my Pasload gas gun, and I always take the battery out. The reason being, I'll take my earmuffs back off again. See, these things were just on my head protecting my eyes. I always take the battery out because it drains if you leave it in there. And these are an old style battery. I think they're a NiCad. So, you know, if you can get them with a lithium ion, a whole lot better. All right, that's that big fellow. The next one I've got is my Coil Nailer. This is my Bostitch air gun, which is a coil nailer. To put a new cartridge in, it's a matter of doing that. You drop the coil in there. You can adjust the height, the height of the nail. It'll do from 1.5 inches down to around 4 inches. There's a clip on the back here that pulls out, and you can see down the back here, I don't know if you can, but down the bottom there are all the different lengths of nails written in there, so you pop the magazine back at the right thickness. And then locks into there, clip that back on, pop that back there, that one clips on, and compressed air. With these guns, you can bounce activate them, but it's best to do a single shot, and then some people just go like that, holding the trigger on. You know, it's okay if I'm putting a paling fence up, that's all right. Decking, I wouldn't do it because you don't have the control. But a rough fold fence, it wouldn't worry me too much. You can get stainless steel nails for this, and the stainless steel nails come in a magazine that's plastic, so they don't get damaged at all. The other nails are like the ordinary coil nails for fencing or doing brace work in houses. They are on 2-wire strands that hold them together. So those ones, doesn't really matter if they get wet, because you know they're going to be fine. So that's that one, compressed air. Then I've got my 16 and my 18 gauge guns. So this is a, let me see, the little one I think is the 18. Let me see what it says here. Yep, that's the little gun, it's the 18 gauge. And this one is the 16 gauge. This is probably one of the most common size nails you will ever see. I'll see if I can slide those out. There. So that's the magazine, and you've probably seen these. They're a C nail is what they're called. Do not oil. You've got depth adjustment here. You can wind that around to whichever number you want, and that raises or lowers this. So in that way it changes the amount of depth that the nail goes in. And it will do all sorts of sizes. Let me see what this one will do. I'll grab a battery for this and I'll give you a quick demo. You can also get these at a 30-degree angle, I think they are. I had a Senko that did that. So I've got a battery there. I've got 2-inch nails. Put the eye mask back on again. There you go, so you can see I've actually got them on. These things go with my glasses fine, not a problem. 2-inch nails. Here we go. That's buried it all the way. You can see the nail is just here. See the hole there? I'll adjust it back up a little bit so it won't go as deep. I'm on 6. I'll bring it back to 1 and see what happens. You can see that it's sitting flush with the surface now. The other one, this one got buried, this one didn't, but it's flush with the surface. So that's probably the gun that I use the most now that I'm not doing housing anymore. And then the little guy, this is my 18 gauge. So that's the 16, this is an 18. This takes very, very small nails. They're 1 inch, and very fine, got a tiny little head on them. Whoop, something crawling around on the back of my head there. It'll take up to 2 inch, a little bit longer than that. And I'll go down to very small, which are 1/2 inch, which I use a heap. Just for little things. Okay, so again, it has a dial on the side to whatever depth I want. And that was too deep. Take it back to there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, not a lot of resistance in that. Man, that went in well. Let's go back the other way. All the way down to 1. There. So that one finished flush, or just proud of the surface. All the rest went all the way in. Very easy to change the nails. That'll do us for the nail guns. But the main thing is, as I say, look for knots. Don't drive a nail down inside a knot. It will follow that and fly up the side. Be careful when you're nailing. Don't hold the piece of timber on the back and shoot the nail there, because it is going to hurt. You will cry. I'm telling you now. If that nail comes all the way through, for whatever reason, it's going to bury itself in there, and they are hard to take out. There's bones and all sorts of cartilage and tendons and blood vessels. Hands have got a truckload of things. You do not want to mess with these. Like saw stop, that was waiting for that one to happen. But there you go. The guns make life very, very easy for me. Where would I be without nail guns? Next thing, I will turn on the iron, wherever it is, just here. And we shall do a little bit of edge strip. All right, whilst my iron is heating up, and this is just an old iron I had lying around the house, I will pop this in here. Now these are, it says top there, and you can see I've already got a pocket hole either end for the drawer assembly. How heavy are the guns? Yeah, you know, it's the last thing that you want to worry about when you're using the guns. My back gets me when I'm framing, because you're bent over all the time while you're framing, and you know, just to be able to stand upright is nice. Okay, so what I do with mine on this bench here, a couple of these guys, and I'm going to pop those there. These things here are called clamping elements, and I'll use them for small stuff, like so, not going anywhere. And then I will pull the tape out. This is just ordinary melamine edging tape. You buy this down at Bunnings or whatever local big box store you've got nearby. Snap it off. Just tear it. You don't, it can be daggy. It's not going to worry it. That's going to get cut off. All right. I'll wait a second for this iron to do its thing. Grab another drink without tripping over that lead. Are you enjoying the show today, guys? I know there was a little bit of mess up here and there with me forgetting to switch the cameras over once or twice, but overall, I'm trying to get through a heap of stuff. So we've done sharpening, you know, specialized jigs. We've done nail guns, and now we're going to do a bit of melamine edging. I try to respond to questions during the week. If people have asked me, so Dave, can you do something on this subject? I'm hoping that's ready. Yep. See that? I just spat on it. It's bouncing all over the place. It's hot. There's a little red light come up down here on this one. I don't know if you can see it. So it says, I'm ready. Don't ask me what temperature to set it to, because this one is no good for the house, but it seems to just stay on a nice height. I put it on to as hot as it'll go. A lot of people also say, even the manufacturers say, use brown paper. I don't. I make sure that I drag it along nicely, and then I do one at a bit of an angle, and on the other side a bit of an angle, and at the end I do the same kind of thing. There we go. Now I get a piece of wood, and I also push on it, just to get that last bit of the glue bonding nicely. You can use a cork block if you want to, it does the same kind of thing. Where are my guys? They're over there. Now the other things I use are these. This is my end trimmer, which I'm going to use now, and it's going to cut the end off perfectly for me. See that? And this end, watching, I squeeze it together, holding it back against the body of the particle board. Then this guy here, now people when they get these from me, I say to them, put a little bit of white paint, or any kind of paint, on the knives that you know are set. This has got two sets of knives. There's a set of knife down here and up the top. So I've set all these to work perfectly. And see, there is an arrow as well. Follow the direction of the arrow. No steam. Don't use this. If you have a steam iron, just set it so no steam. Don't use steam. Ditto with the wood. What's that? Enjoy seeing the damage. Of course, it's a validation to me and I'm not doing mine correctly. Excellent. Not a problem at all. All right, here we go. Now this part, are you ready? Because this is really impressive. I love it every time I do it. What do you think of that? Ha! I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to keep going over time a little bit, guys. If you want to hang around, that's fine. I'm going to do another one of these, but I'm going to show you one of the real things that I love to do with this. Next thing. I get a plane blade. I used to use a chisel. The chisel wasn't really wide enough. Where's that blade that I've been sharpening? Time to give it a bit of a test. There we go. So I run the blade along like that at a slight angle. And I'll spin her around and I'll go the other way as well, just to get the end. Flip her over and the other side. And that ensures that I've got it all. Now, this is the part that I really, really love. Okay, you ready? This little Wood River plane I was given. And it is magic. You watch this. I'm going to bring it over so you can see what just happened. You ready? Hand in the way. There we go. See that tiny shaving? Isn't that nice? This little plane has got a chamfer either end. It is beautiful. It's a little Wood River. See, it says WR. And I've got no idea. Keith gave it to me. And thank you very much for that, Keith. So I've done one side, but I'm going to do the end. See that? You just run it forwards and backwards. Ready? Forwards, backwards. And it's, I'll tell you what, it's just beautiful to touch. I love it. It is so easy to do. Now we're going to do another one. I'm going to do one here on the side, on the face of the bench. Get my clamps. And some people have asked me, I have top written on these. I'm going to clamp it onto the side. Some people have asked me, Dave, how do you get your bench clamps to work in T-track? Well, easy. I took the dome head bolt out and I replaced it with a 5/16 T-bolt. That's all I did. Now you can't rotate too much, you know, just 180 degrees, otherwise it's starting to tighten itself up too much. So I'll slide that one in there. Whoop. And tighten her up because I've had it in another track. There we go. That's easy. And one from the other side. In it comes. Drop it down there. Ha! What do you think? How easy is this? All right, bit more tape. Out to there. tear it off, drop it on there. Run the iron. Make sure you're doing it flat. I put my hand on top of the iron to hold it so it's not rocking around too much. And then I do one at an angle there, not very steep, one at the end, one at the other end. Block of wood and give it a good push. As I say, cork block is fine. And my end trimmer. Either end. It's a pair of scissors. Don't get your finger in here. I've done it and it cut it. It was no fun. Okay, so either end's done. You ready for this part again? This is the part I love. Holding it together. I'll do it a bit slower. Don't you love it? I love this stuff. There we go. Now, I take it off. Or I can even just use the plain blade where it is. So it just takes that last little bit off if you haven't got your knives properly adjusted. Pocket holes, it doesn't tend to like the pocket holes too much, does it? I'll do the other side where you can't see. And what a good result from sharpening that plain blade. The little wood river, here we go. Done. And the other way. Done. Undo, undo. Finished. Look at that. It's come up great. So easy. The ends, perfect. That drawer will go together so easily. Alrighty. Switch cameras, switch cameras, switch cameras, David. There we go. So it was only one stuff up there with the cameras when I started talking about. No, I've got to turn the iron off. Done. All right. Again, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you've had a good time. Remember, if you can use the links, use them. It's great. It helps me keep the show running. And I'm not going to complain about anything because I enjoy doing it. What the hell? And thank you so much for everyone that's done the super chats. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Louis and Jay Parra, I don't know if anyone else did it, but if you did and I didn't spot it, thank you a heap. I will review it after. I do try and save all of the chat. And every now and then I'll throw it up in the description box, or sorry, in the comments section below, but it's very rare. The other thing is all of my videos that I've done with the live stream, I archive onto my other channel. So down in the bottom of this descriptions box, open it right up, and down near the bottom somewhere, I think you'll find a link to the other channel. And it's got, there's about 100 people subscribed to it. If you subscribe to it, you'll be able to see it. Previous demonstrations that I've done that are ad hoc on the run like this, which aren't very polished, but you get the idea of what I'm talking about. So subscribe to that channel and share it around if you want to. It's going to be hard to find things in there sometimes because I'm not really leaving an indexing. What I'm trying to do is leave the title of the things that I've discussed, and that will be today will be sharpening jigs, nail guns, and edge strip. So there we go. I'm going to quickly check this as well. I think that's it. And poor old poor old Johannes, I promised to put his video of the chamfering tool. Oh, thanks, Lamb. I promised to put his video of the chamfering tool up, and I didn't get a chance to. I have Dropbox, and I dropped in with the wrong password, all that kind of stuff. So I'll try and get it up next week. So Johannes, thank you very much for sending that in to me. And as I say, I'll try and get it up there next week for you on the show. Okay, guys, what's that? We're going back to the house. Okay. Great show. Thank you. Thanks, Dave. Tons of fun, education, and laughs. Excellent. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to turn it off now. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.